everybody, so San Diego Comic-Con is underway. That means trailers are dropping left and right, and this weekend I'm going to be jam-packed with coverage of Comic-Con. You can check out this playlist right up here for my full coverage of San Diego Comic-Con. So a couple days ago, they dropped a new trailer for a 12-episode run of The Clone Wars, like another season of The Clone Wars. So the last 2 days, people have been asking me left and right, what's your take on it? Oh, what are your thoughts on it? Do a trailer reaction. Well, I missed the trailer reaction phase of that one because it happened a couple days ago. So I thought I would just give my thoughts on it. Before I give you my thoughts on it, how about you tell me down below in the comment section, what did you think about the Clone Wars trailer as well as the general idea of bringing it back? So from there, I'll just kind of dive into my thoughts real quick on this one. And so the way this is going to work is it's going to be on the Disney streaming service that's coming out. They're debuting very shortly. And so they've been looking to have some exclusive content to really attract people to sign up for this Disney streaming service. So one of the natural ways to do that, Star Wars content. And so they decided to put this 12-episode final season to close things out. That was my understanding. It's to kind of close it out because they left things a little bit, some loose ends. This season will close that out, and it will be on this streaming service. So from my perspective, one of the things I love about streaming services is that they provide the opportunity to do these sorts of things. They provide an opportunity to release things in a way that you don't need to do the mass marketing. You don't need to do a full series order. You can find a way to just kind of squeeze something like this in there, and it works in that context. And so I love that about streaming services and how Netflix is able to bring shows back and Hulu's brought shows back and things like that. And this would be another example of that, of a show that people love, that it felt a little bit like, you just need to build a couple more bridges to get us to Revenge of the Sith. And so now we have this to fill in those gaps so we can actually make that happen. And then I guess the more important thought. So what do I think about the trailer itself? I mean, the trailer itself was a cool, well-designed trailer. I mean, just especially with this long tracking shot voiceover, kind of establishing themes, sorts of ideas, have them come back and Rex, what did you do to bring us back with this sort of meta comment from Anakin about what's like, we're at watching, why are they bringing this back? And then they open the doors, so Katana's there. So that's pretty cool stuff. A pretty nice way to do a trailer. But what are my actual thoughts on the Clone Wars specifically itself coming back? My first inclination, when I heard the announcement they're bringing the Clone Wars back, my first thought was, we're going back again. Now, I want to be excited. I know a ton of you are super excited that we're going to get another season because you love the Clone Wars. You finish things out a little bit better. My first inclination, my first gut response was, we're going there again. And if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, when it comes to Star Wars, I have been rallying, just going against this idea that they ever since Attack of the Clones came out, they keep going back to this exact same period of time from the Clone Wars to A New Hope. There's so much content in this 30-year span of time where the Clone Wars took place and between the prequels and original trilogy that I just don't understand why they keep going to this exact same period of time and telling us more stories about it. We had the original Clone Wars cartoon. Then we had the kind of famous one that we're talking about now. And now they're reviving the Clone Wars. So now 3 different renditions of Clone Wars cartoons. And then in this time period, you got Rogue One, you got Solo, you got Rebels, of course, Revenge of the Sith, and then multiple other kind of video games in the mix, tons of books in this span of space. And I just look at the Star Wars universe and I go, we can go back 1,000 years. We can go forward 1,000 years. We can go to the other side of the universe. And even if we're going to tell a story in the same time period, why don't we go way over there and tell a story that's not about the Empire? It's not about the Force, or it's not about the Jedi and the Sith. There's all these stories we could tell. Or we could do 12 more episodes of this show that we've already done 5 seasons of. Like, we've got 100 episodes, but let's get 10% more Clone Wars. And I that's where I get frustrated with it. That's where I kind of go, I don't understand why we keep doing this. And of all the things you can do, why? And that's also to say to it, if I knew what they were doing with kind of some of these Jon Favreau, if they had a trailer for those ones and they said, hey, we're going full spectrum and this Jon Favreau thing, live action show is going to look like this. And then the Rian Johnson thing, it's going to look like this. And here we go in this. And we're going to go back a little bit, and we're going to do, I feel a little bit more comfortable because it feels holistic. Like they're trying to cover all their bases to make everybody a little bit happy. But when I haven't seen this Jon Favreau stuff, I don't know what some of these other things are. All I know is the thing that they've definitely announced, the thing that, see, it's happening. We've got a trailer for it. It's more of the show we've already had. And I'm sure it'll be great. The fun part for me is I now have a son that by the time this comes out, he'll be 7, 8 years old. And that's fun for me because I get to watch it with him. He loves the Clone Wars. I mean, this whole last week, whenever he had free time, we let him play video games. He was playing the prequel era, Clone Wars era, Lego Star Wars video games. I mean, he loves that stuff. He's pumped up that Battlefront is getting some of the prequel era stuff in the fall. So I'm excited to watch it with him. But I want the Star Wars universe to get bigger. And they keep going back to this same time period, these same things. And that's frustrating for me. How about you? Tell me your thoughts down below in the comments. I know a lot of you guys are way more excited than I am. You're also probably bigger fans of the Clone Wars than I am. I've watched through the whole thing, and I've rewatched a lot of episodes here and there, especially now with my son who wants to watch it whenever he can. But I'm not like a rabid Clone Wars fan the way a lot of other people are. And that could also be part of where my perspective on this is coming from. Tell me your thoughts down below. And if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos. This weekend, we got tons and tons of San Diego Comic-Con content, so be sure to check out whichever ones where I might have talked about something else from Comic-Con you might be interested in. I'd love to chat with you with all of those different things. And as always, thank you so much for watching.